Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Maybe you're even barely getting by making minimum payments. With credit card debt hitting record highs, National Debt Relief offers real debt relief solutions for people struggling to keep up. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may be able to pay back less than you owe, regardless of your credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe 10, 20, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living increases. To find out how much you could save, visit nationaldebtrelief.com. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Hi sailors, and welcome to a new podcast here on explorenorth.no. I'm your host, Jon Amtrup. Last year, we started the year by talking to Jim Duby, and we're doing the same again this year, so I guess it's a tradition. Last time we touched upon the theme of going through the Northwest Passage, which is his next goal, and now we're getting more into detail about it, because he is also getting into more detail about it. He is about to launch Expedition Zero on Boot Düsseldorf, which is starting on the 20th of March. 20th of January, of course, in Düsseldorf, Germany. And this is a sneak preview of the setup for the Northwest Passage crossing, and he's hoping, or his plan is to do it without burning any fossil fuel. It's a high goal, the stakes are high, but someone's got to do it, and I love people who are trying, because electric, it is the way to go for sailors. Or rather, we're sailors, so we should sail, but of course we have to use the engine sometimes. So electric in the future, or in the near future, is the way to go. We're talking about that, and not exactly the spin-off, but a part of the Expedition Zero is also to develop zero-emission boats, expedition boats, both new builds and upcycled old boats that are going to turn into be electric, and zero-emission boats. So if you want to have a sneak preview of his new venture, please listen to this podcast. Yeah, it's time for a new podcast, and it's pretty much been a year since we talked last time, hasn't it, Jim?
I think almost exactly a year. Yeah. Bizarrely, yeah.
Let's make a tradition of it. Every January we have a podcast. And we were touching on the subject in the last podcast too, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth on it now, because you've just launched, or I'm not sure if you actually launched it, or are you going to launch it on Düsseldorf?
Yeah, so we're going to actually launch it on Boot Düsseldorf. Yeah, so it's we're a few days out now, 3 days out.
Yeah, it's the 20th, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so it starts this Saturday. So yeah.
So it's a little sneak preview.
Little sneak preview, exactly.
yeah. And it's called Project Zero, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's called Expedition Zero.
Expedition Zero. And given the times we're living in, I'm guessing most of the listeners understand what zero means, but can you explain a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So it was a sort of combination of so where we were speaking last year, I was talking about doing the Northwest Passage, and after the conversation, obviously life moves on, and you go ahead and you start talking to other people. And I met, who's now a business partner, a guy called Andrew Cowan, who runs another company called Wavy Sail, and they do expeditions around the world, sailing expeditions. And we were sort of talking a lot about doing a partnership together. And one of the things we kept coming up with was this whole idea that sailing is such a environmentally friendly way of seeing the world, and it has a less of an impact. And then we actually crunched the numbers. We looked into it, and we thought, well, how much diesel are we using? How much? How long are we using the engine? Shore power, all of that lot. And when we started coming together with all of that, we were like saying, well, the reality is, it's not as green as we like to think it is. And in fact, once you start looking at the numbers, it becomes a little bit depressing on the reality of what we're actually doing whilst we're sailing. Now, it's not a broad brush. I'm not saying everyone, but I think the majority of sailors are probably guilty of using a generator or a diesel engine to get somewhere, or even just being on shore power. You're still using that power and that side of things. And I think there's three things you can do in the world. You can either ignore it, carry on. You can get up and shout on the street corner and tell the world how bad they are. Or you can actually say, well, what can I do about it? What can we do about this problem? There's obviously we know something needs to happen. I mean, you'd have to be living in a cave if you didn't realise that there's a problem with the environment and stuff. And so we started looking into it a lot more, and we were saying, right, well, what we don't want to do is compound the problem. We don't want to make the problem worse. So we don't want to add yet another sailing yacht into the ocean with yet another diesel generator, yet another diesel engine. So what can we actually do? And we decided there were two things we can do. The first thing we can do is, around Europe alone, there's about roughly 20,000 discarded hulls, discarded yachts, roughly. Now, a vast majority of these are wrecks. They're complete wrecks, and you can't do anything with them. They've just been abandoned. But there are some out there which are just a bit tired and have just been, are probably still owned, but just no longer used because people lose interest, don't want to use them anymore. And then there's a couple that we've actually found, which we're looking at, and these are steel hulled yachts. Because of what we want to do with them, we want to go to the north. We want to go ultimately Northwest Passage. And so we thought, well, why don't we look at what's available? And the biggest problem we had there, you cannot find a Cat Zero yacht to charter as a one-off. You either need to own the yacht, a Cat Zero yacht, or you need to have very deep pockets, and they're very expensive to charter. So we decided, well, let's have a think about this. And we've actually gone ahead, and we're looking at these two yachts in particular, but one of them, our idea and our goal is to upcycle and to be completely eco. And what I mean by that is battery driven, and then powered by wind, solar, and hydro, with the caveat that for safety, that we will probably have a diesel generator. And I'm going to be completely honest here, but we'll probably have to have a diesel generator in the background, running on biodiesel as our safety backup. But the major goal is to say, right, we're going to run this thing completely and utterly free of fossil fuels, and yeah, that's where we're at initially for the initial project.
Yeah. Are you talking about just the Northwest Passage now, or the afterlife of the boat, or other expeditions? And
it will be built and designed to do the Northwest Passage, but the afterlife will obviously be continuing as a zero emission yacht. So we're looking to basically take, as a commercial venture, this is the key, the commercial venture through the Northwest Passage. And what we're looking to do is prove the concept. Say, look, this is it is doable. This is the technology. We're going to bring as many partners on board as possible who want to test their equipment, test their, be it solar panels, hydro vanes, whatever, and then say this is actually a reality, and this is what our aim is to actually complete the passage without using fossil fuels, but on that caveat of having an emergency backup generator if we need it.
You actually think it's possible to get through the North-West Passage without burning any diesel fuel? You can hear the skepticism in my voice.
I can hear a lot of skepticism. We think it's worth having a go.
Yep.
We think it's worth having a go. I think for me personally, it's a 50-50 balance on either way. I think, as you know, there's a lot that can go wrong, and there's a lot of time that you can spend stuck, and there's a lot of time. But if you're balancing, you effectively you're looking at battery management, and you're looking at all your systems and being very conscious of shutting down, starting up when you can, and balancing it out. Now, the technology out there is actually pretty amazing when you start to look into it. It's also very expensive, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Very expensive. But I think that it's there's got to be a first. There has to be an attempt at this.
Yep.
And no matter what, even if we fail to achieve what we want to do, I think that the steps along the way will at least get us into a position where we do actually get where we want to do, which is to run a zero emission yacht. And not and go to incredible places, but as much as physically possible, not do any more damage or harm or anything to these places, and really, just protect as much as possible. And that's the aim.
Yep.
It's just to really see if we can take this forwards.
Yep. Yeah, because I haven't sailed the Northwest Passage, but I talked to a lot of people who have done it, and
Sure.
Obviously you have. And it is actually it's a race against time, and it's a race against ice, and when it's open, and you have to go, and usually there's no wind when you want to go. So,
Of course,
but yeah, I see, and if you can make it through the North Passage without burning any fossil fuel, or even burning just a little bit, you can pretty much go anywhere. Yes. Without burning any fossil fuel. So exactly. Either way, it's a good proof of concept, as you're thinking. But how are you thinking about the engine? Are you going fully electric and just a generator on the side to charge the batteries, or a hybrid? No,
not hybrid. So we'll be electric engines, and the generator will be on the side, which will be to charge up if we need to get us through. So it's and because it's a commercial venture, we are somewhat tied up with what the commercial surveyors will say. So as far as I know at the moment, they're fairly happy with this. But obviously, when we get to the nitty gritty, that we'll have to see what they actually say. But that's the concept is to have electric engines, and a generator is to charge the batteries up to run the engines.
Yeah. Does the propeller have also do the opposite, produce energy?
Yes, exactly right. Yeah.
Yep. So, which system specifically are you looking into, or are you at that point yet?
We're not at that point yet, simply because we're still looking. A, we haven't got the yacht yet, and then B, we've still got to decide whether we're looking at two engines or one engine, and that. I mean, there's some very, very clever people around when you start getting into this, and being someone like myself who's been a diesel engine man my whole life. and then suddenly going into electrics and electric management, and it's a very different, complete flip in your head, really is, to technology. But fascinating, but and really interesting. But yeah, definitely different.
Yeah. And I can see the Wavy Sailing, is that a company?
It's called Wavy Sail, yeah. Wavy Sail.
Wavy Sail, yeah. And the charter they are running, or the adventure sailing, or the offshore sailing, that there it's, you don't need a diesel engine for that. And in my opinion, at least, because if you're sailing offshore, you can always, if you have the right battery management and way to regenerate power, you can sell power when you get into harbor, almost always. So yeah,
and it's I think it's having that conversation about how, as an industry, certainly as an adventure, you know, we can't do anything about the, for example, the Mediterranean, the charter industry there, because, you know, people are not interested in sailing, and I say that politely, but we all know the reality of what's going on. It's you're motoring from port to port to get into a marina, to get your 2 shore power cables on, to get your AC on, to get your and that's that side, which, you know, but what we can do is say, well, if we're looking at adventure sailors and people who actually want to go sailing, and again, I don't want this to come across as being rude or casting dispersions on people. I know people want to sail how they want to sail. It's none of my business. But for those who want to see the different, and I'll give you an example. Last summer, I went up to Scotland, and I was we did the Inner and Outer Hebrides, went out to Barra, and out there, and we were on I think it was with Wavy Sail. They chartered a 52-foot Beneteau, I think, called Big Blue, and you know, I love Scotland. For me, it's just an amazing place to sail. A, there's nobody there, which is great, and B, the scenery, the wildlife, everything's stunning. But you know, you've been there plenty of times, and but we basically sailed, and the only time until the last day when we had to get back, we didn't use the engine once as a propulsion. We only used it to actually charge batteries. And that was, okay, it's in Scotland, but, you know, you still got the tides and you need to work out everything. And I think it's coming down to actually sailing a boat as opposed to having a destination in mind or something. It's yes, people want to be able to go to places, but instead of just having this route and we're going to go from here to here today, it's like, well, why don't we sail? We'll know roughly where we're going to end up because the tide's going to do what it's going to do and we'll win stuff. And I think that was the difference in the sailing side. It wasn't a destination-based trip. It was let's sail and let's just see where we go and where we end up, which I really enjoyed. And I think the crew really enjoyed. And I think once your mentality shifts from desperately trying to get from one port to another port, to tick a list off, to see a castle, to see this, to get this restaurant, to do whatever, you know, and you're just going, well, hang on a sec, let's just, it sounds cheesy, but go with the flow, you know, just sail. Surely that's what we all want to do.
Yeah. And I do the same in as a skipper on 59 North.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty much comes down to how you package it, how you sell it, and how you communicate it as a skipper.
Of course.
And how you package it also depends, decides what kind of crew you get or paying crew you get.
Yeah.
And as you say, if you can say, okay, we're going to sail today, and maybe we get to Oban. Maybe we anchor in some, fjord or something like that.
Lock,
a lock or something like that. So, I think that's definitely a product people want to join. At least that's my opinion of it.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of interest, but as you can imagine, everybody wants to do it as crew and come along and help. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interest, and I think for us, it's there's two things. Is the actual yacht itself, which will be incredible. I mean, so the idea is to get through the Northwest Passage without using fossil fuels. However outlandish or and people sitting there screaming, going, "It's impossible! It's impossible!" And maybe it is impossible, but we're going to give it a go. We're going to see what happens. But we're not foolish enough to not have a backup to use if we need to. But at the same time, it's I think the development of that technology and even to then, and what you said before was right now you could sail offshore and be completely dependent without having a diesel engine or generator. And so with what we're planning to put with the wind, the solar and the hydro, when you combine all three of those, you're then coming up to a place where I think you're on the cusp. At least you're on the cusp of actually doing something quite spectacular without using fossil fuels. And that's the sort of crux of it. And it's the whole principle of leave no trace. It's sort of but making sure you do as minimal damage as possible to an already, let's face it, creaking ecosystem. Around
there. And you've been looking for investors to this project or the boats.
Yes, so we're looking. So the first task was the upcycle, and then we're looking with our partners, a company called Innovation Yachts, based down in Sable d'Olonne in France, and they're using volcanic fibre as their hull material, and so we're basically saying, well, as well as the upcycling side, well, let's look at a new yacht, which is made from the volcanic fibre, which is completely recyclable. It's not, it's not the car crash that carbon fibre or GRP is, and that side of things. And then from there, hopefully design. I think initially we're going to go a 70-footer yacht using the technology that we tested on the upcycle one with the Northwest Passage and other expeditions around that, using that technology to then bring to market. And it's an expedition yacht. So we have, if you're looking at the two companies, Expedition Zero has a launch partner in Wavy Sail who would buy or lease the first yacht anyway. And so what we're going to be saying is, well, look, for people out there who want to charter a Cat Zero, go anywhere, literally go anywhere, because by now we would have proven that it is a go anywhere yacht. And you want to charter it for, I don't know, a month or 2 months or a few weeks even, it's like, well, here you go. We'll have this yacht. We'll have it fully coded up to, Cat Zero. And it's going to be ready. And the idea being we'll have eventually, a fleet of upcycled and sort of new yachts for this kind of market, which is the sort of adventure sailing market.
Yeah. So you're saying that private persons can charter a boat for a number of days or weeks or months, and you're also going to charter to existing adventure companies.
That's correct. Yeah. So the whole point of these yachts is they're designed and designed to be they will be commercially surveyed. So they will be commercial Cat Zero yachts. And they will be available for private individuals who we can supply the sort of skippers and the mates if needed. And so an individual can charter a yacht for sure, or a sailing company can charter a yacht. And it means that, you know, you because I think, and from personal experience, one of the biggest things as a sailor is trying to find a yacht which is a Cat 0 yacht. Yes, Cat 2, they're everywhere, you know. I could, you know, and you know, but a Cat 0 yacht, really hard to come by, obviously, because they are Cat 0. And because they're Cat 0, they're all doing stuff because like, you know, you can't afford to have one sat around doing nothing, because it costs so much to keep going. And so we think, well, you know, all these one man bands, let's call it, of one woman bands, it's people who have clients who want to go do something, I don't know, ski and sail, mountains, whatever, want to go to Iceland, want to go to Svalbard or wherever. And the thing that's limited in them, is that actually the yacht, they can't find a yacht to do it. And we're saying, well, look, we're going to have these yachts, which will be fully ready to go, you know, and as long as you've got, so either, you know, you've got the experience yourself as skippers or whatever, or we can provide the crew to be able to take you to do that. But you can do it in a week, a month, 2 months, half a year, a year, but it's that choice, and you're not. You can then, and the beauty about it is at the end when you're done, you hand the yacht back, wipe your hands, walk away. Thank you very much. Job done.
Yeah. Sounds like a perfect solution. Are you talking both the volcanic new constructions and upcycled, or are
yes.
Yeah, both.
Because the reality is the new boats will not be ready till I don't know, 27, 28 at the earliest.
Right.
Okay, because it's just from getting the money, the funds, and all of that stuff to then the design process and going forwards. It's not a quick process. Whereas we can get an upcycle yacht in the water by the end of this year, ready to go.
Yeah.
So because
there is already a volcanic open 60, isn't it? Or is it a 70 footer?
It's an open. I think it's an open 60. The Omaka, which is Norbert's. Which is Norbert's. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it when I was in Le Sable d'Olonne during the OGR. Yeah.
That's exactly.
And he had tried several attempts to get to the north or northwest passage. Actually,
he's attempted and he's not done it. So, and I think he's actually going to be at Boot as well. But he is. I think he's got a new factory being built at the moment, and then he's looking at something next year. Yeah.
Yep.
And so he's got
it's really cool boat. Yep.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool.
Yeah. And how are you? How's your take on the market right now for investors? People I've been talking to says it's a little bit slow.
It is slow. It's certainly. I mean, I never expected people to be standing there going, "How much do you want? Here's my." And I think people are cautious, and that's very understandable. I mean, it's a bit of a tough gig at the moment, but I think investors are getting the message, and that is that what we're doing here is really trying to make a difference. And it's not revolutionary at all. I mean, the technology has been here for years. I mean, we got, you know, solar, wind, and even the volcanic fiber has been there for a long while. But it's I think it's a tipping point now where we've got to say, well, we can't just tinker around at the edges anymore. We can't just throw a solar panel on here and there, or a wind vane and you know, hear it and go, well, look what we're doing. We've got to start saying, well, let's do something really different. Let's actually aggressively, maybe that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. It's go full throttle and say, let's try and remove this diesel stuff from these yachts and we talked about emergency generators, but and let's just see if we can actually do it with the wind, with solar, and with hydro, and bring those together. And it's a whole new world of balancing, systems, fridge, freezers, heaters, autopilots, navigation gear, all of that stuff. So it's a you almost think you're becoming an electric engineer because of battery management more than anything else. But a lot of this stuff is becoming automated, so things will switch off and switch on, and
yeah,
and the grail about this is self-regulation. So it will sense its own and then start shutting things down and bringing things up. And I think the technology is there. I really do. And it was something I've only looked into in the last year. And we went to Metz in Amsterdam and had a good chat with a lot of suppliers there. And some of the things they were doing with batteries, and just little things like shape of batteries have changed. You can almost now get a battery molded to your hull and sort of, just silly little things like that where you're not having to think about bricks anymore. You can think about, you can think about shapes and getting things in. And I think it's the momentum is growing. And when you see what's out there, because it's not, I don't think it's talked about as much as it should be, really, in the yachting press or in the magazines or anything. It always, it is getting out there, but the technology wise is pretty impressive. What's going on? So hopefully we can bring. Sorry, back to your question about investors. Is that they're really really keen on this new technology, and I think because obviously that's where the money is in sort of, it's in this technology. And I also think they see a vision which is of the clean yacht. Fundamentally, it's and we're talking about the new builds now, from development to end of life. It's completely and utterly zero emissions, and then completely recyclable at the end. That's the holy grail. That's the vision. Which is what we're trying to do.
Where do you think we are in 10 years' time regarding? Do you think we're still selling diesel-powered sailboats, or is it all chucked out?
10 years' time, I would hope that the majority of 30 to 40 footers will probably have a electric, if not hybrids, diesel electric engines in them. I suspect I think the problem is going to be it's the larger yachts, so the 50 to 70, especially the catamaran world. I mean, I know we don't really speak about catamarans, but we've got to. I think they're still going to have generators because of the demand that they require, the amount of, and that's, again, that's the Mediterranean market if you look at it. But to run your AC and to run your fridges and your freezers and your ice box and your ice maker and your whatever else. I'd like to say that technology will, and maybe it will. 10 years in technology, I mean,
hopefully,
hopefully it will be there. But I think it would be. I think they'd still have generators. I think they'd have to have diesel generators. I think the propulsion side will have gone electric.
Yeah,
I'd like to think that.
Do you think technology is moving faster than the mindset of the sailors?
Yeah. I think technology is there. Really, I really do. I think the technology is there now.
Yeah.
I
but
think
it's too expensive, or?
I think the mind shift, and it's really hard for me to say this because who am I to tell anyone what to do? I think the mind shift is actually in what you have on your yacht. Do you really need your ice makers, your fridge freezers, your all of this bomb, and I've just mentioned a load of them. And it's because if you want this almost inexhaustible amount of stuff, operating in the background the whole time, that's when you need the diesel generator to keep it going. But if you really thought about it and thought, well, hang on a sec, do I need all of this stuff? Then I think if we cut down a lot of it, even AC, I think you can still run quite sensibly. But it takes power management, which is the biggest problem. It takes someone being able to actively read the displays and work out how much energy they're using, how much they've got left, and if they then need to top up and how do they top up, be it shore power or generator or otherwise. I think that's what's missing. It's that it's too hard to expect anyone, an owner or charter guest or whoever, to manage their power at the moment, because in reality they don't want to. They just want to plug stuff in and forget about it and go. Yep. And I think that's what's stopping it at the moment. It's that side.
So in reality, we have to turn back our mindset when it comes to cruising 30 years or something like that, when we didn't have all that shit lying around that need charging and freezing and everything else, and then let technology manage the rest. And maybe not. Yeah.
And I think also comes down to the yacht manufacturers on because it's them who say you can have this, you can have this, you can have this, you can have this, and people will go, well, yeah, I'd love to have an ice maker, and oh yeah, I'd love to have AC, and yeah, I'd love to have, I don't know, another heater and this and that, another fridge outside or a cockpit or a and look, don't get me wrong, it's people need to be able to enjoy their life and enjoy their yachting and however they do it. But I think the reality is a lot of this stuff just doesn't get used. It just does not get used. I mean, ice maker, really? Are you going to use an ice maker, or are you just going to buy a bag of ice? I mean, what are you actually ultimately going to do? And also, I think people's awareness will become, as we start talking about it, as hopefully as an industry, a community, we start talking about it. And we claim to be we're sailors, right? We're supposed to sail. That's how I make a living. How you make a living. How we all make a living. But you know what I mean. And part of that is we therefore, I think, forget maybe just the simple joy of sailing, and it becomes more of a, we've got to get from A to B. We need to get from, and I get the irony of me saying I want to do Northwest Passage, but you know what I mean. It's the enjoyment of sailing and being a bit sweaty in your bunk and being a bit smelly maybe, and not having your clean socks or whatever. But
just look at all the enthusiasm around the Golden Globe race and the Ocean Globe race, where there's no technology, and you can just dream about having an ice machine, and they're living perfectly happy lives and enjoying every moment. And we the people sit on land on our screens and watching them, and are really envious because they are living the simple, enjoyable life, sailing, not doing power management.
Yeah, and it's very, and and I know it's very pure when you're at it, and when you are in that element and stuff, it's a very very, very pleasant way of living, of being.
Yeah, and speaking of pleasant, and also the OGR, because they had an issue with it right now. And in 59 North, we have a woman, not a quota, but we have to have women on board on every trip, at least 2. You're going 50-50 on your Northwest Passage.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yes. I think it's I just think where we're going in the world, we need to say, let's just And you know, and people say, well, that's forcing something. And it's like, it's not forcing anything. It's just saying, look, it's the way cabins will work. It's the way, you know, bunking arrangements will work. So ultimately, you're going to need half and half, because that's the way you're going to bunk up. There's going to be half cabins, female cabins, and half male cabins. And I think that's a reasonable way of thinking about where we're going with this. And I in the same with the crew, you know, obviously I'm a man, I get that, but hopefully we're looking at getting a female mate, or, you know, or deckhand or whatever. So we're because I think it is important that it's not just another bunch of blokes going out to the Northwest Passage. You know, I think we need to have that balance, and obviously women bring incredible things that men don't, you know, and we just need to. And I think we are waking up to this world. I think we are saying, you know what, let's everything, and it's not a forced thinking. It's just saying, well, let's be equal. There's absolutely no reason why it can't be 50-50. I mean, there just isn't. And okay, we might not make it exactly 50-50. They might have a couple on board or something or whatever, which might throw out a little bit. But the idea is to say, look, we're going to have half our cabins are female, half cabins are male. So it should be 50-50. Yeah.
Cool. Have you had anyone sign up for the Northwest Passage so far?
So we have a lot of so we've got about 80 people who have expressed interest. We're launching next week. We're going to do a Wavy Sail launch night where we're going to talk about the various options and how to join up. So it's not just about Northwest Passage, it'll be about other expeditions we're doing as well in preparation and stuff like that. And so that will be happening next week. And then, so interest-wise, we've got a lot of interest. We've got 80 people signed up to our newsletter on it, and then we're going to actually launch the actual places. So we're places next week, effectively. Yeah. So we're looking for 6 paying people, and then we've got another 2 which will be on we call them an Oceans grant. So they'll be basically offered these spaces to people who are sort of what's the word? Just finding it in difficult times, really, and that kind of thing.
Yep. So are you sponsoring those places, or are you finding external sponsors for those?
Externally sponsored. They're externally sponsored. Yeah. So cool. Wavy Sail itself won't be done. And then so 6 places, 2. So 6 paying, 2 other, and then 2 crew, basically, and then potentially another person, a filmer or photographer or someone like that. We're not sure yet at the moment. But so that's and that's going to go live next week. So all sort of, you know, we had Expedition Zero, then we had Northwest Passage, and then we had Boot, and then we were like, and it all sort of, but it's all coming together now, so which is great, which is really good. Yeah.
Cool. And you're going to be skippering it, of course.
Yeah, so I'm going to be skippering it. Touch wood, nothing happens between now and then.
Yeah.
Never know. So yes. Yeah.
Got your mate picked out?
Haven't got a mate yet. So we are basically, once we start on the pre-passage sort of itineraries, we'll start. We've got quite a big pool we can look at, and then sort of do a selection process from there as we go through. So still looking.
Cool. Is it a gender issue in the mate position too, or are you going?
It could be anyone.
Anyone. Yep.
Anyone.
Just qualified.
Yep. Just qualified. Yeah.
Yep.
So ideally, if we could find. Sorry, go on. Yeah, I was going to say ideally a female mate would be ideal, just to balance it out again. But it would
balance you out.
Sorry. Yeah.
Balance
Exactly.
you out. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so sorry, were you
Cool.
saying what qualifications?
What kind of qualifications are you looking for in a mate?
So we would effectively need them to be an ocean master. Now that could be RYA, whatever. I mean, we're not sort of stuck on IYT or RYA, and then we'd need them to have all the communications training, the first aid, the medical care training, all of that side of things,
Safety.
safety. And then would really like them to have done seasons up in the high latitudes in the Arctic and with other providers. So yeah,
cool.
That's what I'm
looking forward to it.
I am definitely looking forward to it. I am slightly terrified at the same time. I am, very excited, but also very aware of the just the difficulty, and it was never going to be easy. If it was easy, then a lot more boats would have done it. It was never going to be easy, and also there's no guarantee we'll make it through. I'm fully accepted to that, and I think we've got to make sure that people who book on it know this, that there is absolutely zero guarantee we're going to get through, and if we need to turn back, we'll turn back. There's no ifs or buts about it. It's just what's going to happen. But at the same time, it's like a lot of these things. There's almost the journey to get to the start is a journey in itself. I mean, and my journey in the way I've looked at things about yachts, new technology, just things I've never even thought about, battery management and wind and power and this and hydro, and looking at all of this crazy, some of it stuff and some of it just genius, it's incredibly exciting. It really is incredibly exciting. And yeah, of course, having this goal of doing the passage with zero emissions, and a lot of people will be saying that you won't do it. Fair enough, but we're going to try it. That's what we're going to try.
Have to try it.
Exactly.
Some people say that the hardest part is getting to the start line. That's in races. Do you reckon this will be the same?
I think even more so than normal. I think so, because there's going to be a huge amount of just everything. I mean, it's phenomenal, and I think it's just going to consume everything. And it's almost like if we start, then it'll be a breathe. It'll be like, oh, let's do some sailing now, It's just, one of those things.
But if you track back from the start of the Northwest Passage, when do you need to have the boat?
Okay,
and when do you need to have the boat ready?
So we are looking at, really, if we get the boat in the water this year, the upcycle one, and we will use next year, 2025, as the testing of the yacht and then doing expeditions up into Iceland, Greenland, Svalbard, testing the yacht, testing the systems, and then for the push in 2026. We were originally going to go 2025, but then I thought, you know what, if there's no point trying to rush and get somewhere. We've got too much to do, too much to test, too much to see. And let's be honest, in the meantime, if we're going to sail into Norway and Iceland and Greenland, and they're fantastic places in their own right, let alone. So we might as well enjoy the
and it will be good to have 1 year of testing the boat.
Exactly. So that's what we thought.
Winter and summer.
Yeah. Give it some really good test sails, and then just go from there. Yeah.
So when you're testing it, are you going to run it as a commercial trips?
So I think the initial trips, no, they'll just be tests. So when it leaves Sable d'Olonne and France, which is where we think we're going to refit. We're going to refit the upcycled yacht. But we'll probably take her from there up into Scotland. Probably have her based in Oban. From that point.
Cool.
And then once we're happy, we'd have to go through all the survey anyway, and the requirements, get her signed off to be Cat 0. And once she's signed off and we're happy that we can operate her safely and she's manageable, then we'll start doing trips. So it'd be Scotland, up to Faroe Islands, hopefully Norway, Svalbard, a route all the Iceland.
Cool.
So, familiar places for you, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll meet you a few places at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But you said you're going to refit it in Les Sables d'Olonne. Why not in your own backyard? Leamington.
Well, two reasons for that is and I probably shouldn't have said so. I probably slipped a bit there.
No.
But that's where our build partners are probably going to be.
Ah, right. Yep.
For the new yachts as well. So that's probably. I mean, we look, obviously we'd love to do it in the UK, and I think down the line we'll probably look at coming into the UK. But for what we want to do, the technology it isn't in the whole material isn't here yet. Whereas it is in France. So yeah.
Cool. Looking forward to the boat Düsseldorf?
Yes, I am. I mean, it's obviously everyone and anyone and the whole world in yachting is going to be there. So it'll just be, I think, trying to find where to stand most of the time will be my biggest challenge. But yeah, no, it's always great, isn't it? It's one of those things. A lot of the time you spend in this industry, you're actually on your own, isolated a little bit in your own world on a yacht somewhere. And it's quite nice where you get to something like Boot, where you've got a lot of people in one place, and you can meet a lot of people very quickly, and get to see old friends again as well. So yes, I am. I'm really much looking forward to it. Yeah. Oh wow.
Cool. How do you enjoy being a salesman and not a sailor? You don't. No, no one does.
No, it's one of the hardest things for me. I think, however, I do think when you're talking about something that you enjoy doing and you like, then it's a lot easier than trying to sell, I don't know, an iPad or something. It's not my ideal strength. It's not something I love to do, but I just trick myself into thinking, well, it's just talking to someone about something you like. So you're selling something you love. So yeah, exactly. So it makes it easier, but I do still find it awkward. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
But everyone in Düsseldorf are selling something. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Sure.
Have you been there before?
I haven't been. No, it'd be my first time. Yeah. So
me neither. I've been to pretty much every other boat show, but not that one. So I should go one time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it should be. I've got no I just know it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything I forgot to ask about, or something you would like to say?
No. I mean, all I was going to say is we are launching next week for the Wavy Sail for the Northwest Passage Expedition Club. So, people want to look at wavysail.com and have a look at that. And then Expedition Zero will be launching this weekend at Boot, which is expeditionzero.co.uk, I believe.
Cool. I'll put links out in the text to the podcast.
Personally, thanks, John. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. And and good luck with both projects and hanging around in Düsseldorf.
Yeah, no, that's great. And again, thanks very much for giving me the opportunity to have a chat with you. Really enjoyed it.
No. And we're at least going to do it again in January, if not sooner. So.
Yeah. For sure. A yearly thing.
Yearly thing. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, John. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Hi guys, thanks for listening to this podcast. I hope you found it interesting. If you want to know more about high latitude sailing, I can highly recommend, without blushing, the book I wrote together with Bob Shepton, High Latitude Sailing, Self-Sufficient Sailing Techniques for Cold Waters and Winter Seasons. You'll find it on Amazon, on explorenorth.no. You can follow the link to buy a hard copy. And there's also a lot of other books there that you might find interesting. Other than that, keep on sailing, guys.